All right, guys. So here on November 16th, I am catching up on all of the daily progress summary videos that I hadn't gotten to because I was busy moving and I didn't have internet during the moving process. So this time we're going to be looking at Saturday, November 13th. So on that Friday there, I had uh, worked on all of these things, brainstorming how to make the slides more efficient. And this was spurred by discussions with my friend about potentially having him help me organize some of this sort of material as a freelancing position so that I could spend more time on the teaching content in my ministry. So I was trying to figure out, well, okay, if this was going to happen, what kind of work would I give him? How would I organize it? What things need to be done? What would be a good way to expand the usefulness of the content? So I was thinking a lot about duplicating website functionality in the slides that I use. And the slides that I use are actually just HTML and CSS and JavaScript. It's actually a JavaScript library that turns Markdown into HTML. And so I, spent some time thinking about how to duplicate and actually did duplicate, as we saw here from the example, did duplicate some of the website functionality in the slides here. So the footnotes and the special content sections here with the different background color to set apart content and all of that. Well, I got some of that stuff implemented and still more to do, but definitely spent a lot of time planning and thinking and brainstorming about these things. Also had a discussion with the security office here. So as a defense employee, I have to be careful about the interactions I have with people who aren't citizens of our country, just so that I act responsibly in light of the privileged position I have as an employee of the government. And so I had a conversation there about the situation and what my goals were and the ideas behind hiring my friend as a freelancer, and ultimately decided that it just probably isn't the best idea given my particular circumstances in my career. So that was the conversation. It needed to happen. So that was what got done on Friday the 12th. Now on Saturday here, this was the main moving day for us. So we spent all day moving. We were pretty tired at the end of it. We actually finished moving and then we went out and ate at Moe's, and I ate a lot. We'd been moving for hours and hours, lifting a bunch of heavy stuff, carrying it down 2 flights of stairs, going through doorways. You get the idea. So the first thing we did, we got up a bit early, picked up the U-Haul truck. I had to sit there in line a little bit, but I'd actually never driven a truck, so this was interesting. Kind of go slow. We parked it in the apartment complex in a way such that we wouldn't have to back up. So we parked it on this road, and then we did a 3-point turn. We weren't blocking any parking spots. We didn't have to worry about getting in and out of parking spots because we had a 15-foot truck, or at least a 15-foot storage space on the truck, which means the whole truck's probably more like 22, 23 feet or something. So quite a bit larger than a normal car, but wasn't too bad. We had no mishaps any time during the day. I drove some and my roommate drove some. But the first thing we did after we got the truck was we cleaned out the self-storage unit. So when my parents moved earlier this year, they downsized and I got some furniture from this. So I got like a dresser and a bookcase and an extra bed and stuff like that. And we'd been storing this in a self-storage unit because my apartment really didn't have enough space for everything. So that's the first thing we did. We swung by there, cleared out the storage unit. After that, we moved everything from the apartment to the new house. So from the storage unit, we drove to the apartment, filled up the truck there, made one load, and then actually we managed to get everything in 2 loads. So a lot of packing and kind of like puzzle pieces, getting everything to fit in the truck appropriately. But we got everything in the apartment, all the big stuff, all the tables and chairs and beds and bed frames and all of that. Well, we got everything in just 2 loads in the 15-foot truck. So after that, we returned the truck. We ate lunch. We were pretty tired. And the other thing that we did that day was moving things around within the house. Now, this was primarily getting basically getting things in the right rooms. So, if we had this chair goes in that room, this bed goes in that room, you get the idea, dresser, bookcase. The hardest things here was the standing desk that I have. So it's a 72-inch, so 6-foot wide desk here. And very large, very heavy, probably about 60 pounds with the motors and everything. So getting that through the doorway, which is pretty narrow in the master bedroom where I am, was pretty difficult. And also the love seat, so the 2-person couch, also going in front of the standing desk and TV in the master. Well, we had to get those things through the doorway, and that was pretty hard. Spent quite a bit of time trying not to scrape up the nice new paint and all that as well in there. And of course, we spent time organizing and unpacking everything. So this was a very tiring day. We did a lot of moving. We were active on our feet. moving stuff for probably 6 to 8 hours of this day. But on the other hand, what was kind of cool is I paid to fill up the U-Haul with gas a bit. And so with gas plus the U-Haul charges, we probably moved everything for about $80. So we didn't pay anyone to help us move or anything. And so, I mean, when I think about all of the other money I'm spending here, closing on a house and setting up contractors to fix a couple issues, like with the sprinkler system and stuff, I'm dropping hundreds and thousands of dollars here. And so to get everything moved for $80 was a very nice relief from the financial burden that homeownership puts on you in general. So I was very thankful to be able to kind of utilize the fact that we're both, fit young men who can move ourselves. And so we carried everything up the stairs and into the house and so forth. And we saved a lot of money by so doing. And so it turned out that it worked quite well, renting the U-Haul truck, no issues driving it, quite cheap overall. And so definitely would recommend if you have people who are able-bodied and willing to put in some exertion, put in the sweat to move yourself, well, you save a lot of money when you do it. And so it worked out for us pretty well, but it was definitely a tiring day. And so that was here on Saturday, November 13th. That was the day that we moved all the big stuff in the house. So with that, I will pick back up for the next day in just a second.